even back in the 30s, like they were doing their best to depict as real as they could the horrors of the trenches. And this update does a fucking phenomenal job
It
of
really does.
upping the ante on that. Oh, all right. What kind of music should I put on for this year discussion?
A good World War I rendition. Classical. I don't know. Pick something. Damn it! I don't know music.
I'm
They're
just
like
typing in
books.
World War One music.
Make it a real flapper.
There we go.
Just put on Erica. That's the wrong war, but
Is it though? Well, everybody, this week we watched All Quiet on the Western Front, the Netflix movie from I believe this year, wasn't it?
yeah. It's only been out like a month or so.
Yeah, it's a remake of a classic 1930s movie, which if you were around for the pre-roll, you would have got a little info on. I recommend showing up for the pre-rolls because we always put extra information about the movies we're going to discuss in the pre-roll. So if you don't know what we're talking about, you can get a little background. Always got some behind-the-scenes footage and shit we stitch together. All kinds of good shit.
Without spoiling the thing we're talking about.
I spoil it every time.
No, I meant the pre-roll. No, we're here to spoil the shit out of it.
Here, they want Erica.
Well, you gotta give the chat what it wants.
Gotta give the chat what it wants. Streamlabs.com/comedy on a budget.
You want Erica? It costs you $5.
Blütenkleid. Auf der Weide blüht ein kleines Blümelein.
Thank you, Lucas.
Und das heißt...
I haven't seen this cut.
That surprised the shit out of me. That's awesome. Ice.
All right. Anyways,
Nice.
back to what we're
wholesome
talking
music.
about. Back to what we're talking about. All right. So we were talking about All Quiet on the Western Front, a 2022 Netflix original movie, completely done in German and French, I believe.
Yeah, I think all German and French actors.
Yeah, and it's got old fucking Baron Zemo himself. You may know him from Inglourious Bastards. Fuck.
And Captain America: Civil War.
Yeah, hold on. I gotta look at this. There we go. It's got stars Felix Kammerer and Albert
You want me-
Schwint.
Aaron Himmler, Maurice Krauss.
But Daniel Bruhl, that's the guy we're talking about. But it's what'd you give him? It's a World War I movie that basically shows the horrors and tragedies of the trenches in World War One.
It does not pull any damn punches. It shows. Go. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say it does not. I was just gonna agree with you.
No, it does. Obviously, like the remake, and which the remake is kind of crazy because that came out in 1930, and I think we're in the World War II by 1934. And you would think, even though the movie was kind of cheesy by today's standards, like it kind of showed that one of the only realistic depictions of war and like how, like World War One, people there's not enough about how bad that movie, how bad World War One was, and just the you kind of understand, even though I hate the French, why they just didn't decide. They just took the Second World War. They just like, nah, come in, Nazis, we're fighting you again. You would have battles that would like 30,000 people would die within one battle. It was like fuck. It was a meat grinder.
Yeah, there's a famous poem that came from World War One that's often used. Like if you guys have seen the new Kingsman movie, they used it as like a kind of thematic backdrop. But it's called Dulce et Decorum Est, and it is a very detailed description of a platoon getting mustard gassed in the trenches and someone not getting their mask on in time and dying. So like this movie kind of takes a lot of the war movies. I think took a lot of hints from those like wartime books. Like this movie was based on the original movie was based on Eric Maria Remarques. I don't know how to say that name. Like it looks like a
Good luck.
Frenchy name. But like his
MAGA not gonna work here anymore.
his experience. Oh, that's actually German. I think his experience as a German soldier in World War One, and it like even back in the 30s, like they were doing their best to depict as real as they could the horrors of the trenches, and this update does a fucking phenomenal job
It
of
really does.
upping the ante on that.
It does, and it does a good job. I mean, right off the bat, you just see kind of a no-name soldier, just how he's in that insane trench warfare, and everybody's dying around him, and it almost kind of gives you hope because he goes into a battle and he takes their shovel like axe thing that they give him, and he looked like he's gonna fight his way through, but next scene is him dying and them unceremoniously just stripping this guy and just recycling his clothes and everything else. Like,
Yep.
and that brings you right to the main character where, you know, it's probably how that guy started, where he believed all the propaganda. They're going to fight for their country. You
Well,
know.
a lot of back then too was also conscripts, so like these people didn't really have much choice.
Well, this one, they're trying to make it even more tragic. Like, these people were excited. They had no idea what war was, but they're, you know, they bought in all the bullshit. They're told that they're heroes, and you know, this group of kids, like I think literal kids, probably teenagers is what they're probably depicting. You know, they get sent directly to like the front, and like immediately one of them dies. Like they start getting the shit blown out of them, and it's just a nightmare scenario.
Dude, like the scene with them in the bunker, like pretty early on,
Mhm.
and that guy's like freaking the fuck out. Oh, I may have accidentally watched the first 30 minutes of this movie in German.
Which if go ahead.
And I didn't notice for about 15.
I had to go through like 10 different versions that were like where I could find one that was in English, because it was a big point for the guys making this movie to like they weren't upset, but they wanted a version of this movie that, because it was Americans that made the one in 1930, they wanted a German cast. They wanted it basically an all German movie told by Germans.
Yeah, they
you
wanted
know?
to try to be as authentic to like the actual thing as they
Yeah.
could. Which I mean, yeah, do that. That's like these were the people there. And you know what? I haven't heard anybody bitch about the all white cast of this movie yet.
Well, I did see on the French side they had to fucking just throw a random black guy that had nothing to like. Are you kidding me? World War One, you just had to throw a I did see a
Well,
one random black
France, you could say makes a little sense because you got Morocco right across the.
guy. You know, that's true. But
so, there's,
way he
there's
was
been
front and
little
center
integration
there
back
is-
and forth. Yeah,
I
But
guess so.
dude, like there's so many brutal scenes in this fucking movie. Like there's like just long stretches of these guys going through trenches, fucking killing everybody on sight. Like you kind of saw there, the motherfucker had to kill a dude with a shovel. Like
All the time, and then like it does a good job too of like if they have to do that, and then you know they're starving. They don't have proper rations and shit like that. They're constantly in the mud.
mhm.
It seems like they're and looks like it's in the last throes of the war, and like their supplies are all shit. Just people are just dying left and right. It's just like a real hellscape, and they don't shy away from any of it.
No, they don't. Like honestly, my favorite part of the whole movie was like it was about halfway through when they get into the trenches and they clear out that kitchen
Mhm.
and they're all like
They'll start
just
chowing
yeah, they're
down.
just like stuffing their fucking faces, and they feel the table start vibrating. And they look down and they see all these rats just scurrying the opposite way, and they're like, "What the fuck?" Everybody runs back out to the trenches and climbs up the ladders and goes, "What is it?" And you see like these little squares appear in the smoke, and it's fucking tanks. And these
Yeah,
motherfuckers
like,
never
we're
seen tanks
fucked.
before. And
Yeah.
it just storms through the fucking trenches. And like there's one part where they're like it crushes these motherfuckers. Like one of them crushes like a bunch of dudes. Like people getting blown the fuck up. Like it's
They start
fucking
shooting
absolutely...
at it like that's gonna do anything.
Yeah,
'cause
I'm
they
like,
have
what are
no
you
idea what the hell
idiots? Like
is.
it looks like steel. I'd be like, I don't think that's bullets gonna go through that. That looks like fucking plate steel.
They did such a good job. They're like the tanks are like so foreign to them, and they don't really know how to fight it. Like they come out almost looking like monsters breaking through the fog. You know what I mean? Like what the hell is that? Like they were fucking screwed.
Yeah, that scene was so well done. Like that's my
Yeah.
favorite scene. But like my second favorite, like the close second, is the the puddle scene with like the knife fight.
Yeah.
That's the one that I remember was in the original.
Okay.
Like the
No. Go ahead. Sorry.
you know what I'm talking about though? Like where he's like
Yeah,
laying
he's got to fight that guy, and like he has to like he basically stabs him or does what he has to do to survive in this giant crater hole puddle,
yeah.
and then he's just basically watching him die, and like, oh shit, I just killed somebody.
Yeah, and he
Or
starts
I'm killing
panicking
someone.
and starts trying to like, bandage him up, and then like the guy dies. And like he pulls the stuff out of his coat and sees the picture of his wife and kid, and
Yeah, it's brutal, man.
dude, and then like he like lays his head on the guy's chest and shit. And then he has to just walk out of the no man's land with all these thousands of bodies laying around him.
Ugh. Yeah, and you expect to be like, imagine like doing that. They expect you to come back and be normal after this. Like this fucked up like like this is what war does. It just fucks up generations and generations of people.
Yeah, and
Like,
they have
you
a
had to
scene
kill
where
somebody with a shovel saw. Like
yeah.
it's like Jesus.
like
The
he,
go ahead.
he there's like a scene with him and the guy with the blind eye, I think,
Mhm.
where like they're talking about like he's got like a letter from home and they're asking him to send money back. And then the other guy's talking about like they
Yeah.
expect us to just walk back into the streets after doing all this and shit like that. And like guys like already thinking about like how are we gonna survive after this war's over.
Yeah, they did a really good job at like showing each aspect of war and like just the mental fatigue of it, the brutal graphic fucking depiction of just like either going through a thing where everybody's getting killed around you, or you have to like go hand to hand combat and like use this blunt instrument to kill somebody, and then like you expect to like just you go back home and like you hear that your own family's struggling too, like fucking terrible.
One of my favorite lines in the movie is like right after he gets back to like one of the supply depots in the trench, and he's like panicking, and he's like, the guy's like, dude, grab a crate, come on, grab some ammo, and he's like, sir, I miss my friends. It's like I miss my comrades, and he's like, I miss my fucking mother. Now grab a goddamn crate. It's like I love that shit.
Yeah. Just like the people that have been there are already battle hardened and just like they don't have time for you to be a pussy. Like the bombs are coming, they're coming to kill you. You can either sit there and cry and die or try to fight back.
Yeah,
It's nuts. I'm trying to think what my favorite scene was. I don't know. The whole movie is like one big fight scene.
it
Everything's like
does remind
kinda
me a lot.
badass.
Well, I guess I'd say the 1917 reminds me a lot of, because this is not just a readaptation of the original movie, a remake. It's trying to be a straight adaptation of the book.
Yeah.
So that's where those similarities come in, and like you, like the feeling is perfect. Like everything about like this, like set decoration, the costumes, even like the color grading on the film, it all adds to that dreary World War I like atmosphere, and like it reminds you of 1917 because that was like the last one I remember seeing that was a World War I movie.
They don't do a lot. It's weird. Everything's always World War II because of the Holocaust. Yeah, I meant to say it like that.
Couldn't because of who were making the movies, could it?
I don't know. Why is there like 10 World War II movies a year, and this is like the second or third World War I movie I've seen in my lifetime. But yeah, no, I love that look, man. Oh, who comes out of nowhere when we say that. What's up, Elizabeth?
Hey, what up?
What the hell was I saying? No, I love that look, man. It's just so you can identify it like right away, like that, almost like that era and that color scheme is just. All right, this is doing the World War I, or not World War I, but that like 1900, like just depressing wartime. Just everything's gray, everything's dark.
Yeah. And as good of a movie it is, it's not a happy story. Like none of these.
Yeah, it's so depressing.
I like the pre-roll you had. The guy was talking about how like everyone always, no matter how fucked up you make the war movie, there's always gonna be people that want to romanticize it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I don't get that at all. I'm just like, this seems like a lot of fucking like needless death. Like how many died in this? Like 4 million or some shit.
Dude, it's nuts, man. This devastated Europe. To how many?
Dude,
people
that
just
scene right
died
there
in
with
it.
the fucking flamethrower, that shit was so gnarly. And he's just sitting there watching it, and his friend has to come up and go, "Dude, let's get the fuck out of
Get
here!"
up, you idiot! Yeah, they're burning us alive, you moron.
It's
This scene right here, I didn't understand. I did understand. I think they blew off his leg, and rather than go back a cripple, he just like stabs himself in the neck. I think that's what that was. Because they kind of just lead up. He was like, "How am I supposed to do my job like this?" And then they just turn away, and he like starts stabbing himself with a knife.
yeah. And then did you see what the other guy did? So like, he was sitting there eating, right? The main guy, right, sitting there eating, and he looks up, and sees this guy staring at him, and like, what I saw, I was like, why is that guy doing him like gay eyes? But then he like the guy, like you hear the dude fucking stab himself, and so they all rush over there. And then after the guy dies, he looks back over, and the dude has his bowl of food and is eating his food.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that part. I remember laughing at that. I was like, God damn, they
Yeah, it's fucking dog eat dog.
They're showing you the darkness, man. They're really embracing it. What I did like too, to away from the war shit, it's just like, and a lot of war movies do this. This is how in this shitty situation you get these bonds with your fellow soldiers and shit like that. Like,
yeah,
they've seen like this tight group of people that seen most of their friends and other soldiers just die around them. So that bond has got to be like insane.
Yeah, it's war's not a pretty thing, but it brings all the people that survive it really close together.
Yeah, who else can you like talk about that situation with that they went through? Like, who else would understand?
Yeah, I love how like they take time to show you the diplomats too, trying to work this shit out. That's where that Daniel Bruhl guy comes in.
And I like the fact that like they're just showing the difference between what the other guy, like just the eating and just what they have. Like they're just, these people are complaining and they're eating like poached egg and they have all this meat and shit, and they're on like a luxury train and stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't understand the Kaiser guy at the end, like who sent them that back in the battle that last time, basically to die. He didn't want to give up. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the other side. Oh, yeah.
No, that was in the discussion. I meant like after they say, "Hey, the war's over." One like bald, he keeps coming up in our little slideshow, but
yeah,
they kept. I don't think he was in the first one. I think maybe this is more of an adaptation from the book, but this scene right here where he's sending him back even though they were just told the war is over. He's like, "No, we're not giving up. You're going back in." What the fuck? Why?
Yeah.
And
hey, familiar human.
I didn't see the first the 1930s version, but I watched like a synapse of it to learn more about this movie. And I guess the guy dies like trying to catch a butterfly or looking at a butterfly and just gets sniped.
The main guy?
Yeah. That's what the 1930s version
I don't
was.
remember that.
Well, they showed it in the pre-roll where I think the last scene in the movie is where the guy just, I think I didn't get too far into it, but I think it's just like he was just so distracted by something that wasn't war, and his brain, like everybody else, just like died around him, and He just goes to reach for this butterfly and just gets nailed by a sniper.
Yeah.
So this one was kind of, I guess they again.
This one was
I
like.
don't know if this is my.
Are we gonna get to the spoilers? We're gonna go ahead and spoil this movie.
Yeah, we got like 10 minutes left. Let's.
Spoiler
Spoiler.
Spoiler.
Womp.
The main character dies. Spoilers.
Spoilers. I kind of
Dies literally 3 seconds before the armistice is called.
It's
Like,
yeah.
He got killed before there was an armistice and died after there was an armistice. That's how close. Like, he's like standing in this room and he sees this guy and he knows it's about to be armistice, so he's like stops and is like, all right, let's not kill each other. And some motherfucker just walks up behind him and stabs him through the chest with a bayonet, right through the fucking heart.
Yeah, just unceremoniously, didn't die in like glorious battle. He just sort of wanders out and
Yeah, and he falls in
just
the
sits down.
trench and sits down and dies. Yep. And then some
Yeah,
kid comes along collecting dog tags.
I think it
and,
was somebody that knew him. I think it was somebody that I think that was like one of the friends who knew what that scarf was.
Oh, they all look the same to me.
Yeah, they're all Germans, I get it. I think so. I might be wrong, but I think that was the scarf, like basically representing like what life was like outside of the war. They all kept sniffing the scarf that one guy brought back when he was hanging out with those 3 like milk ladies.
Mm-hmm.
And he brought that back, and they all like they all kind of went between them. Like when somebody died, they like sort of take it, and it was just, I don't know, it's just one of those things they passed around. So I think that's why the guy took it with him when he saw who he was.
Yeah, it was just taking a memento from a fallen soldier.
Could be, or what I said.
Well, I mean, like even if that's what he's doing, he's just taking a memento from somebody he knew. But like that kid looked like he was like 14.
They all do. I think that was the point, to show you just like
Yeah.
know.
I mean, there was just kids dying in trenches. Like this guy was like
Mhm.
what, like 19 or 20 maybe.
Probably, yeah, he'd probably been in the war a little while, it looked like. But that's what I mean, is like I think they purposely made his death just so unceremonious,
Yeah.
no, not glorious at all. It's just like, yeah, no, that's war, man. Whether you're there, you're not, and you know, you don't get to die a hero all the time.
Yep. I mean, even they'll paint you as a hero, but no death in war is heroic.
Nope.
Like at one point, Daniel Bruhl's character, or Daniel Bruhl's character, somebody says, "Let them die in honor on the battlefield." And he goes, "My son died in this war. He feels no honor. He feels nothing."
Yeah, that was pretty.
Yeah,
fucking,
it's
fuck you, man. Shut up.
Yeah, it's a goddamn good movie. It is a goddamn good movie.
They did it right, man. They this is, these aren't Nazis. These are Germans in a war that nobody really understood how it fucking started and why this all happened.
Started all because of a sandwich.
From
serious.
Ferdinand sandwich.
That's why he was in the spot he was, because he went to a deli to buy a sandwich, and they just happened to turn
And then
around.
assassinated him.
Just so happened to turn around right in front of that sandwich shop.
Well, it's a weird one. Yeah, for a sandwich, that is pretty damn funny.
Yeah. War started over a sandwich.
But it's just, so there isn't that Nazi element where these guys are definitely the bad guys. This whole situation was fucked from the beginning.
Yeah.
And
There's
it's
good and bad people on both sides. That's what makes it such a compelling war. Is like you kind of can understand both sides of the conflict to some degree, even if you don't agree with them. Like the Nazis, you're just like, I don't understand that at all. Like I understand how you got there, but how'd you go from let's keep Germany strong to let's put people in fucking gas chambers? I don't see the connection there, but whatever.
Yeah, how can you put hundreds of thousands of people in the gas chambers, man? It's
right? Why would you have maternity wards? Oh,
Ferris
Christ.
wheels, smokestacks.
Oh, Christ.
Well, anyway, World War One.
All right, what would you give this movie rating?
Rating. I think it's I like these type of movies, so I'm a little biased, but I'll give it a solid 4.5.
All right. Where is it?
I don't
Why does
know,
it
you
never
know,
want to
but
work?
Making me look like an asshole, just not eating popcorn and just. delicious popcorn. Love to have. Nom, 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 nom.
All right. I would give it at least a solid 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good fucking watch. It's kind of depressing. That's probably why I don't rate it nearly as high as.
That's why. Yeah, that's why I didn't really give it a perfect.
But I think
it's depressing as fuck.
Yeah, it's a really well done movie, and watch it with your grandfather. They'll probably remember some things about theirs,
How? How would they remember? They wouldn't be old enough.
about their grandfather.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I'll give it a
guess.
4.
Nom, 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 nom.
All right.